I'm really not in the mood to do anything today, to be honest. I've literally done nothing. It's like way past 2 o'clock and I'm still like watching stuff in bed. And I really just don't want to get up and do stuff, but I'm going to do some washing. But it's Saturday, so I'm taking the day off. I will see you guys when I'm doing the housework. Good morning, guys. So I've had my breakfast and I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about some of the new things that I bought today. So again, it's a cozy haul. Now, the first thing, I bought this a while ago and I'll show you guys because it's actually finished, but this is the Orbella perfume. I don't know if you guys can see. It's actually so good. So I got the small one. Yeah, so it's actually so good that I've finished it. I bought it a couple of months ago. I bought it 2 or 3 days after they launched in Selfridges. I haven't really spoken much about this, but obviously I do like to use products that are really good for your body and good for your skin. And one of the things that attracted me to Orbella as a company itself is the fact that it's meant to be healthy perfume, so it's kind of like essential oils but for your body, and you can like rub it on your body, which is really nice. But the main attraction point was actually buying this because it's healthy. Learning about Bella Hadid's journey of like finding perfume that was healthy for her because we're chronic illness. I won't really go into details with mine, but obviously like that's something that I'm always looking for. And I also try to limit makeup and only do skincare and things like that. And it's one of the reasons why I use the brand Simple, because I know that they don't use chemicals like other skincare brands do. So I purchased this, and honestly, this was probably one of the best purchase of 2024 because it's such a good perfume. It's so subtle and it smells really good. So there's a few different types. I got Nightcap, which is, it really honestly reminds me of like warm nights, like warm summer, like I guess warm summer nights in Kuwait where I lived, where the weather's, you've got like a slight breeze and the weather is really nice to kind of sit outside and have dinner and just enjoy yourself and actually enjoy the heat, because in the Middle East you barely get to enjoy the heat because it's so hot. But on those rare nights where you can enjoy them, this is what reminds me of. So I don't know if you guys are living in the Middle East or are missing the Middle East, but this is actually really good perfume for that. It's the Nightcap one, and again, it was actually not irritable, so I didn't feel like I wanted to sneeze. The smell didn't make me feel sick, and it was all natural ingredients, so I would highly recommend this. It was something that I initially thought, because you know, lots of models and lots of internet personalities, everyone is launching a skincare brand or perfume or this or that or something like that, and not all products are that good, unfortunately. I would love to say that they are, but not all of them are actually that great. But this one honestly is really, really good. Like, Bella Hadid's really thought about the quality and thought about how to make it healthy. It's probably the healthiest perfume you can actually buy out there, to be honest. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna add this. Again, it's very difficult to get me to add something to my regular routine, but this is one of the perfumes that I think I'm gonna continue buying. This was a trial, obviously, but in the future I'm just gonna buy the big one and use it because it was really, really good. The only down point of this would be the only down point is that the scent doesn't last too long. That's the only issue. It kind of lingers, but like if you use normal like other perfume, like I have an Elisab perfume, and honestly that lasts for like days. Even when I wash something, you can still like smell a hint of it, but I'm pretty sure that's probably like not natural. So they probably use like unnatural things for the perfume to linger even after you wash it. So I guess that comes with the fact that it's very natural and healthy. But either way, it still kind of lingers. I mean, it just means you just have to put a little bit more towards the end of the night, but that's normal anyway. So that's, if there is a downfall, that would be the only, I mean, well, if there is a downside to this, the one con would be that it doesn't last all day, but you can just top it up. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I would highly recommend that you guys go grab one of these. They are stocking in Selfridges. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they did launch it last year, and I'm pretty sure they're stocking it somewhere in Selfridges. But you can also buy it online. So yeah, I would highly recommend this if you guys are in the market to shop for a perfume that's healthy for you. Okay, I did discuss with you guys that I have left my job, and it's been now around, I would say like 1.5 months that I've left my job. So as you know, as soon as I leave my job, I get very addicted to self-help books and productivity books. And this time, and books in general, to be honest, I think this time it's not any different. I've definitely bought a bunch of them. Okay, so I've got a few, so we're gonna go through all of them. That's not the only pile. I've got another pile here. Okay, so we're gonna go through everything. Okay, so we're gonna go through all the books one by one. I'm gonna go through all the spiritual self-help books, and then I'm gonna go through just normal reading books. Okay, so you guys have obviously heard about Gabrielle Bernstein, not sure how to say it, but anyway, she is huge in the spirituality world. She talks about manifestation, meditation, and all those things. So I bought her book, The Universe Has Your Back. So there you go, The Universe Has Your Back. And basically, it's a book about looking for signs and how to feel safe, how to trust yourself, which is something that I actually struggle a lot, just because, I mean, I don't really want to go into detail that much, but obviously like through therapy that I've been doing, it does bring out some things that make me feel unsafe, and I do have triggers. So this is something that I really just want to throw away and move forward and not be triggered by many things around my vicinity. So yeah, I'm definitely reading into this. And also, Gabby Bernstein has been around for a while. She's a brilliant spiritual author and leader, and I've heard a lot of raves about her books, so this is one of them. Leading on from that, I also bought her book Happy Days. That's the one. So I think The Universe Has Your Back was released in 2022, and this one was released before that. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a quick look. Well, it doesn't say, so I have no idea, but they're all very recent books, actually. All of them are quite recent books. So yeah, Happy Day, this is basically the guided path from trauma to profound freedom and inner peace, which is something that I definitely need in my life. So yeah, that is one of them. Okay, if you guys have been following me since day one from my YouTube channel and my Instagram, I've deleted a lot of my earlier posts before, but I did make a post about Heights. I do take multivitamins from this company called Heights, and I actually have been using them for quite a while now, and they're honestly the best multivitamins out there, and they also have probiotics. And the team that works behind the company Heights, they have a neuroscientist who works within the team. She's actually been on Ali Abdal's podcast, Dr. Tara Swart, and I've been meaning to buy her books for a while now, but I don't know why I never see them around. Like, you know, when you go into Waterstones and you just like look at books that you recognize and you just pick them up and you want to buy them, but I never see hers around. But this last time when I went to Waterstones, I saw her book right in front of me and I was like, I have to get it. And she's actually a very interesting and quite groundbreaking personality in neuroscience. So she talks about how manifestation is real, how you can reach the other side, but she's a very intelligent woman. So she's basically been at Oxford and studied neuroscience at Oxford. If I don't trust an Oxford doctor, then what else am I doing, to be honest? So yeah, so she really knows what she's talking about, and she kind of bridges the gap between like science and the spiritual world, which is honestly like the ultimate dream for me. Like, I grew up learning a lot about like religion and stuff like that, and then science was completely different and it was separate, but like I love the marriage of the two together, which is really nice. So yeah, I really love Dr. Tara Swart. So her I think this is her first book, called The Source, which I'm very, very excited to read. She does have some other books which I'm going to buy, but I want to start from the beginning. So every time I buy something from an author, I try to read their first couple of books, and then I kind of start from there and see their progress and their journey. So you kind of learn what they learn as you go through, as you read the books, which is the way that I like it. So yeah, it basically it talks about opening your mind and changing your life, which is exactly what I want to do. And I'm going to read the blurb to you because it's actually really good. And it says, if you could have anything you want in life, what would it be? Breakthroughs in neuroscience are proving that we can actively alter the way our brains work. Now, world-renowned neuroscientist Dr. Tara Swart shows how we can all harness this potential to transform our minds, attract what we most desire, and seize the life-changing opportunities that pass us by every single day. And that is very powerful. So yeah, I'm super excited to be reading this. Now, I bought another book by Tara Swart, which is called The Signs. I think this is a new one. The Source was her first one. And this basically this book has been read by Jay Shetty and Mel Robbins, who are like the gurus of self-help, spirituality, that kind of world. So this book is all about looking for signs, and it's stuff about like intuition and survival. And I think this is more based off of kind of communicating with the other world, so communicating with the other side, like dead people and things like that. Obviously, please don't label me as somebody who's like a hoo-ha and has gone off the rails, but it's always interesting to read perspectives like that, and especially from somebody who's been educated at Oxford, because it's something that I always used to think about. It's something that they teach you in religion when you grew up in a religious household, but you never really like think about it, or like you never really think about it seriously. Well, I mean, I never really thought about it seriously, to be honest. I've also never really lost anyone until quite recently. So yeah, this is something that I'm very interested to delve into. It basically talks about the signs, gut feelings, intuition, strange nudges. They're not random, and everything happens for a reason. So this is something that I probably need right now, because I've obviously left my job and I'm looking for the signs, and I'm looking for them everywhere, in books, in trees, out my window, behind the door. So yeah, this is probably going to be really, really helpful. Okay, so and then leading on from there, obviously, I got Mel Robbins' latest book, which is Let Them. Now, this book was actually really interesting because when I bought it, the bookseller at Waterstones, the woman who processed my transaction at the till, she was like, it's a really good book. And that was already like, oh my God, I was like, oh my God, this is a sign. And I read most of it, but it's a lot of confirmation of what I already knew. So I tried to rise above a lot of things. There's some stuff that happened in my childhood that obviously I don't really want to talk about. Try to rise above them, and it worked back then, but somehow recently I've forgotten. But now for some reason, I guess because it's like all the therapy that I'm going to, there's like new emotions arising about those situations. And for some reason, I'm like angrier than before. And I guess I didn't really deal with it as much because I kind of just like rose above it. But I think now that I've dealt with it, I need to learn to rise above things. So this was a confirmation that I was doing it right before, and I just need to go back into that practice of kind of rising above situations. And I've annotated quite a lot of this book, actually. This is something that I'm going to refer to on a regular basis. So every time I need it, I'm going to refer back to this book. Like I refer back to Jay Shetty's book as well, like Think Like a Monk, on a regular basis. It's one of the best books I have ever read about spirituality and like moving on with your life and like being okay with yourself. So yeah, I read this book. I haven't read all of it. So there are sections that I haven't read, but I read the ones that are most relevant, the ones that I feel would be helpful to me now. So yeah, this is her latest book, Let Them. And last but not least, I'm going to show you this book because I actually follow her on Instagram, and she has amazing aesthetic videos on Instagram, which is really good. And so it's the book Magnetic by Rochelle Fox. If you don't know her, she is on Instagram. Basically, there are motivational videos on her Instagram, and this is basically a guide to manifesting and changing your subconscious beliefs. I've read a lot of books about manifestation and kind of changing your subconscious mind, but a lot of the books that I've read are scientifically heavy, so information heavy, because I've read things like Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow and like books like that, which are really good. And obviously he's won a Nobel Prize, so he obviously knows what he's talking about. But it's difficult for me at least, to actually implement those practices. What this book helped me see is how exactly step by step I can change my subconscious mind. So I've obviously read somewhere, and I've heard lots of like podcast conversations with a lot of spiritual teachers and self-help gurus, where they talk about that little window in the morning and the little window at night when you're like just about to sleep and you're just about to wake up. It's like a good doorway to your subconscious mind, and that's when you should be meditating. It's when you should be telling yourself affirmations and things like that. But in this book, it really like reaffirms everything. And it's also because it's written by a female, so I'm like, okay, like it's more relatable to me as a woman, whereas all the other books are, I do believe them, but there's somewhere you always think like, is this like a man's perspective? Because obviously like how men do business and how women do business is completely different. Like their routines usually don't work for us, and our routines most likely won't work for them, and you have to find your own. So because it was written, this book is written by a book, and all the information that she's checked, and she's like, I've tried all these things, they're tried and tested, and my clients have done this, so it kind of helped. It like kind of like solidifies that it works for women, which is the cool part. But Rochelle Fox, she's a very gorgeous, pretty woman in general. So yeah, if you haven't checked her out, have a look at her book, and also follow her on Instagram, because she does aesthetically pleasing motivational videos, which they're always lovely to look at when you're browsing. So yeah, this is basically, it also helps you like unwind your limitless mindset. As you can see, I have annotated so many pages. She also has like, she talks about like the garden in your mind, and then she talks about your reticular activating system, which is like a filter, and there's a POV method on how to actually manifest it. There's like a step-by-step guide on how to actually follow and like visualize what you want. There's a lot of books, again, they just say visualize, but they don't really show you how, whereas this actually shows you exactly how you can do it. And it just came so easy to me when I was younger, but it's just a matter of kind of like reiterating those practices and kind of solidifying them. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the spiritual self-help side of things. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the books that I bought. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I've got one more book, which is The Courage to Be Disliked. Now, my people-pleasing side of my personality really hates this book, but my personality that wants to improve and do better and run a business is asking me to read this book, because a lot of women have told me that this book is actually really good. And a lot of people pleasing traits are actually in women. So I'm just trying to like figure out how to actually get out of my people pleasing. I'm trying to figure out how this book can help me. In 2026, I just want to focus on myself and be selfish and just think about myself. So yeah, I mean, no introductions. This is one of the biggest books out there that you guys probably have heard of. It's by Ikiro Kushimi and Fumitaka Koga. So I don't know if I've said those names wrong. I'm sorry if I have. But yeah, it basically talks about stop being a people pleaser and achieve true happiness. So yeah. Okay, so that is now finally it for productivity and self-help books. And that is pretty much it for my productivity and self-help books. That's quite a tower that I have to get through, but I'm kind of excited to read all of them. Okay, we're just going to put them on the side here. And I've got 3 books that I can read just for fun. So the first one is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is like the OG Dark Academia book, and I'm actually really excited to read this. I've read like 1 or 2 pages, and so far it looks really good. And I don't know, like everybody in Oxford and Cambridge has read this book, with all the people that I follow on Instagram and YouTube who are studying at those universities have read this book. So I definitely need to like delve into this. You guys probably have never heard about this author. He is basically a recent British author. I randomly picked up his book because I wanted to buy a murder mystery, and so I picked it up, and I actually found it quite a good read. He's not known. His name is Tom Hindle, and this is one of his book, which is Death in the Arctic. And as you can tell, it's basically a murder mystery which happens in the Arctic. But look how cool and like Art Deco the cover is. And it's one of the things, it's basically the book cover that attracted me to the book. His first book was also a murder mystery, and it was set in Lake Garda, which I'd never heard of before I read the book. But the cover of the book, again, was very Art Deco, and I love Art Deco. And so that was one of the reasons why I picked it up. I mean, honest, I don't know about you guys, but like comment below if you guys are like book readers, and if you look at like book covers and buy books based off of like how the cover looks. This was definitely one of those buys, but actually ended up being a really good book. And so I bought the second one. Now this one, I picked this up because I love Christopher Nolan's movies. I think he's a brilliant director. And I've heard that he's actually making a movie of The Odyssey, which is based off of Stephen Fry's book. So I bought it. And I want to read this book before it comes out as a movie because, yeah, it would be... I've actually left my tag on, so I'm going to take this. Not that you guys need to know, but yes, it was half price when I went into Waterstones for New Year. So I'm going to take that tag off. Okay, so I do want to read this book before it comes out as a movie, because I think sometimes when you watch movies you miss out on some of the details that are in the book. So I want to read all the details, so then when I watch the movie, if there's details missing or if they miss some details, I can actually understand the movie, because there's nothing worse than watching a show and like missing crucial parts of a book, of something, of a part, or like a feeling or a moment that's been written in a book, but you've missed it because you haven't read the book. So I kind of did that with The Summer I Turned Pretty in the first season, and then I bought the books and read the books, and then I understood it more in the second season, in the second and third season. So I don't really want to do that. So yeah, I'm very excited. And obviously Stephen Fry is a brilliant writer. I read a lot about his books. And also, fun fact, Stephen Fry is also somebody who takes Heights multivitamins. So if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. So yeah, that is the book. Now, the last one that I bought. The last book that I bought, I'm now proud to say that I own all the books in the series Dream Harbor. So Laurie Gilmore, this is the latest one, which is The Gingerbread Bakery. And it's basically a rom-com, small town rom-com about two friends, about 2 people who hate each other but love each other. So they had a thing in the past, but it didn't go well, and now they're kind of trying to make it work again. But there's also other things as well. So there's a wedding that's happening at the end of this book. There's other characters as well. So the Dream Harbor series, like, surprisingly has been one of my favorite reads, and I always used to tell my friend that it's really difficult for me to find like rom-com books or like love books or like relationship books, but Laurie Gilmore is an excellent writer. Like, if you don't like this book, I guarantee you like one of the other books in the Dream Harbor series. They're all so different but written so well. They're all rom-coms, they're all small town romance stories, and it's different. So this one is like enemies to lovers, and then the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore is basically like, I guess, like friends to lovers. And then there's other ones, which is like the first one, which was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I read. It's got the whole autumnal vibes. And then they have the Christmas Tree Farm, which is like enemies to lovers again. So it's really nice, and it's actually really cozy. So if you guys enjoy watching shows like Virgin River, or the recent one actually, Sullivan's Crossing, things like that, so cozy small town romance, Dream Harbor series is definitely a must. Okay, and that's pretty much it for all the books that I've bought. So that's everything that I am hoping to read, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 months. So that's going to keep me busy for a while, and it's also probably going to stop me from spending money on clothes and other things, because I've already bought this. I'm not going to step outside until I finish reading all my books. That's my big books haul. You know, I love doing a good books haul. Like, if it was up to me, I would do a books haul every single day. There are so many more books that I want to buy. I'm going to make myself some food now, and because I'm actually very hungry, and I'm going to show you guys what I make. Okay, I'm going to meet my friend for some tea in town. This is the fit. Excuse the mess behind me because that's basically to do with the other room, but yeah. This is from PLT, and this is from Zara, and my shoes, my loafers, are from H&M. So yeah, this is the fit.